going to divide these polynomials using long division. We are dividing this polynomial right here. There's my long division symbol. When I copy this down, though, what I do want to do is put it into standard form, and it's not yet. And if we're missing any powers of x, I want to put in a 0 for that. So looking at all of our terms here, I see the highest power of x is 2x to the third, and it's not the first term, but in standard form it should be. So I'm going to write that first. And after an x to the third, we would write our x squareds, and we do have an x squared term. It's a minus x squared. Then we should put down our x term next, but in this polynomial there is no x term. So I'm going to put plus 0x. That's going to give me a column to put all of my x terms. And then after our x's comes our constant, so a plus 25 out there on the end. Out here in front, we're going to divide by an x minus 3. That is in standard form, so we'll just copy that down the way that it is. Long division, that is a 3-step process we do over and over and over again until we get to our final answer. Your first step is to figure out what you're going to write on the top, and the easiest way to do that is always to do your lead term inside, divide by your lead term outside. If they're in standard form, you'll be able to see those because they'll be the first term. So I'm going to do a 2x cubed over x. You can do that in your head or work that out if you need to, if they're a little more complicated. So what I need to put in the top is a 2x squared. I'm going to put that in my x squared column, so above this x squared term. Excuse me. I'm going to put in that 2x squared. That's your first step. Figure out what goes in the top. Then from there, take what you just wrote on the top, using the distributive property, multiplied by each of the terms in that polynomial out here in front from our divisor, and then put the result in the following correct column. So 2x squared times x would give me 2x cubed. I'm going to put that in the cubed column. And 2x squared times negative 3 is a negative 6x squared. And I'll put that in the x squared column. Once you take your value that you wrote on the top and multiply by each of the terms in front, then your last step in your 3-step cycle is to subtract. So we're going to take here what's in black, and from that we're going to subtract what's in green. When I do the subtraction, I am going to subtract each one of these terms. So this positive 2x cubed is going to become a minus 2x cubed, and this negative 6x squared is going to become a minus a negative 6x squared, or a plus. And now I can just go through and look at each column, and whatever symbol is there, that is what I'm going to do. So for this first column, I'm going to subtract. 2x cubed minus 2x cubed is 0x cubed, so those cancel. In my next column here, what I have is an addition, so I'm going to do a negative x squared plus 6x squared. So a negative 1x squared plus 6x squared would give me 5x squared. And then I don't have anything underneath this x term, and I don't have anything under the 25, so that's like 25 plus nothing. You can just copy those down. So that's the 3-step cycle. We just keep doing that over and over and over again until our power of x here at the bottom for our lead term is smaller than the power of x in front. Right now it's bigger. I have an x squared here and just an x, so I need to definitely go through and do this process again. I'm going to take this lead term, divide it by this lead term, and see what we'll put up on top this time. So 5x squared divided by x would give me a 5x. So I'm going to put a plus 5x up on the top in the x column. The 5x I just wrote on top. I'm going to multiply by both of these terms in front. 5x times x gives me 5x squared, and 5x times a negative 3 is a minus 15x. And then in my third step, in my 3-step cycle, I want to subtract. So I'm going to subtract a 5x squared and subtract a negative, which would make that a plus, for the 15x. The first column here, we have 5x squared minus 5x squared, so that cancels. Then I have 0x plus 15x, which is 15x, and then I can bring the 25 straight down. There's nothing underneath that. I keep going until my power of x here is smaller than my power of x here. Lead term and lead term. My lead term here is x to the first power, so is this one in front. So it's not smaller yet. I need to go through this process again. So 15x divided by x is going to tell me what I need to write on the top. Again, you wouldn't have to write down each one of those each time, but just to show you where those numbers are coming from and from that we put up at the top. Lead term divided by lead term will tell you what it is you need to put up on the top. We need a plus 15 this time. Then the distributive property, 15 times x is 15x, and 15 times negative 3 is a negative 45. Then we subtract, so I'm going to change the sign of both of those terms in green. First term cancels out. The second term we have 25 plus 45. That would give me 70. And now I'm done with our long division process because my power of x here, well, there's no x at all, so that's x to the 0, is smaller than my lead term out here, which is an x to the first power. The only thing I need to do to finish the problem up is to write down our final answer. Final answer is our quotient, what we wrote up at the top, plus a fraction, and the fraction is going to be our remainder divided by our divisor. So final answer on this problem, quotient first, 2x squared plus 5x plus 15, and then plus a fraction, and the fraction is going to be our remainder, which is 70 over what we were dividing by, our divisor, and x minus 3. So there is our final answer for that long division problem.